Have you ever found yourself in a conversation, maybe in English, wanting to sound, natural and confident, but feeling like the right words just aren't quite there for that specific moment? It's so easy to get lost in all the vocabulary. But what if there were some, practical shortcuts, ways to sound truly authentic, almost like you've been speaking it forever?
That is exactly the deep dive we're taking today. Welcome, everyone. We're exploring essential English sentences for, real-life situations. And this really isn't just about memorizing lists of words.
Right.
It's more about understanding the subtle power of when and why certain phrases are, not just correct, but actually perfect for the context.
I love that idea, unlocking that hidden layer of fluency. So our mission today is to equip you, our listener, with key phrases that feel genuinely native. We're looking at phrases you can use in all sorts of scenarios. We've drawn from this fantastic collection 70 essential English sentences for everyday life. And we're going beyond just the definitions. We'll get into the specific situations, the cultural nuances, maybe even the emotional tone behind them.
Exactly. So you can integrate them seamlessly and feel, truly well-informed.
Okay, where should we start?
Well, to kick us off, let's unpack those really important first impressions. Navigating social openers and everyday greetings. These initial interactions, they're just critical for setting the right tone, building rapport. They often go way beyond a simple hello.
Okay, yeah. Like, that feeling when you're maybe thousands of miles from home, somewhere unexpected, and you suddenly bump into someone saying how small the world is. It feels a bit clunky, maybe.
Yeah.
What's the English phrase that really captures that surprise, that coincidence?
For that specific feeling, small world, isn't it? It's just perfect. It's almost always said with a genuine smile, maybe a little laugh. It implies that shared sense of surprise, like you said.
Right.
Imagine running into an old colleague at an airport overseas, or maybe meeting someone new who happens to know your cousin. It really captures that global village feeling for a moment.
That's a great one. It packs a lot in. Okay, so moving from a chance encounter to maybe catching up with someone you actually care about, like a friend or maybe a coworker you haven't seen in a few weeks. How are you? Sometimes feels a bit shallow.
It can, yeah. It often gets just fine, thanks.
Exactly.
But asking, what have you been up to lately? That's a bit of a game changer. It's much warmer, more personal. It genuinely invites the other person to share what's actually new.
So it opens the door for a real update.
Exactly. It prompts more than just a one-word answer. It starts a proper conversation.
That makes sense. Encourages connection. And speaking of old friends, we've all had those reunions that feel long overdue. You see someone and there's that mix of surprise, happiness, but maybe also a little bit of guilt. Like, oh gosh, it's been so long.
Oh, absolutely. For that exact moment, that delightful, maybe slightly sheepish reunion, it's been ages, is the phrase. It instantly conveys both the surprise and that friendly nostalgia. Often said with a laugh, like you mentioned, or maybe a touch of good-natured embarrassment if you feel you should have connected sooner.
Right, like oops.
Yeah. It's perfect for reconnecting with old friends or colleagues. It just brings this immediate warmth.
So it's not just stating a fact, it carries that emotion.
Yeah.
Okay. What about compliments? Is there a compliment that's always safe, always polite, feels kind of mature, something that avoids focusing too much on, superficial appearance?
That would definitely be, you're looking well. It's subtle, it conveys care without being overly personal.
Okay. How is it different from, say, you look good?
Well, you look good could imply more focus on appearance, maybe clothes or hair. But looking well, it points more towards their overall state, their health, their happiness, their kind of vitality. It's a classic example of how English politeness sometimes use a bit of indirectness to show respect. Avoids comments that might feel too familiar.
That's a really neat distinction. Okay. And for more professional or maybe semi-formal situations, like emails or virtual calls, how do you politely ask how a colleague or maybe a client is doing without being too intrusive?
For those scenarios, how's everything on your end? Works really well. It's warm but respectful. It maintains that professional boundary while still, acknowledging their world. It's a broad, gentle kind of inquiry.
Right. On your end. I like that. And when the tables are turned, someone asks how you are, and things are just fine. Ticking along, nothing amazing, nothing terrible. How do you respond in that kind of humble, understated English way?
The classic, can't complain, really. This isn't just saying I'm fine. It taps into that common cultural trait of understatement. It suggests a sort of quiet contentment without boasting, you know?
Yeah.
It implies things are steady. It's like a subtle positive shrug, linguistically speaking.
Huh, the positive shrug, I like it. And what about when someone asks, what's new? And honestly, nothing is new. How do you convey that routine, day-to-day stuff without sounding negative or bored?
Same old, same old. It's super common, signifies routine. But the real beauty of this one is in the tone. If you say it with a sigh, it might suggest you're a bit stuck or weary. But say it with a little smile, and it suggests a comfortable familiarity. The delivery really shapes the meaning.
That tonal difference is key. Okay, and for those quick, polite questions, maybe for coworkers or neighbors, especially if you know they're swamped, what's a good way to acknowledge their time without pressing for details?
Been keeping busy is excellent for that. It's a polite nod to their likely schedule or workload. It invites them to share as much or as little as they want, without making them feel obligated to give a full report. Shows you're aware.
Nice and light. And as the conversation wraps up, maybe a short one, how do you express that you enjoyed the chat without going overboard?
Nice catching up. It's warm, appreciative, signals you genuinely enjoyed the brief interaction. Perfect after grabbing a quick coffee, bumping into someone at the supermarket, even after a short meeting. Concise and friendly.
Simple, effective. Okay, last one for this section. Let's say you want to stay in touch, but you're not quite ready to lock down specific plans. You want to leave the next move up to them. What's that casual, sort of non-pushy phrase?
Drop me a message sometime. It's very casual. Non-committal, but in a good way. It genuinely invites future contact, but without any pressure to set a date right then and there. Keeps the door open.
Right. Leaves the ball in their court. Okay, great stuff on greetings. Let's shift gears. How about practical phrases for navigating shops and services? These seem crucial for feeling confident when you're, buying things or asking questions.
Absolutely. These phrases really empower you as a consumer. They help you get the information you need and make choices without feeling rushed or awkward.
Okay, so you're in a store, you see something interesting, you need more info, but just blurting out, what is this, sounds a bit abrupt. How do you ask in a way that sounds more engaged, maybe more thoughtful?
That's where, could you tell me more about this one? Really shines. It's polite, it shows curiosity, it makes you sound like you're genuinely considering the item, whether it's, headphones or a jacket, rather than just demanding facts. It opens up a discussion.
Right, it invites a conversation, not just an answer. Okay. And for bigger ticket items? Electronics, appliances. What's the absolute must-ask question for peace of mind, for making sure the seller is responsible?
Well, definitely. Is there a warranty included? Non-negotiable for anything expensive, really. It clarifies the protection you get, what happens if something goes wrong. Just a smart consumer question to ask up front.
Essential.
Yeah.
Okay. And what if you're hoping for a slightly better price? How do you ask about discounts tactfully without sounding like you're trying to, haggle aggressively or seem cheap?
Do you offer any discounts? Is the way to go. It's direct, but still polite. It leaves room for the salesperson to mention any current promotions, maybe loyalty deals, or even if there's some flexibility without you having to explicitly push for it.
Nice and open-ended.
Yeah.
Okay. And for clothes, shoes, accessories, the simple universal phrase before heading to the fitting room.
Just, can I try this on? Straightforward, universally understood. Gets you pointed towards the fitting room or gives you a chance to see how it fits right there.
Got it. Now, sometimes, let's be honest, an item is just not in the budget. Saying, that's too expensive can feel blunt, maybe even a bit rude depending on the place. Is there a softer way? Something that might even lead to other suggestions?
Yes, absolutely. That's a bit outside my budget. This is a fantastic example of polite indirectness in English. Instead of a hard no or too expensive, which can shut down the conversation, you use softer language a bit. Outside my budget.
Oh.
It signals the price is a barrier, but it leaves the door open. The salesperson might then suggest a cheaper alternative or maybe mention an upcoming sale without you having to ask directly. It saves face for everyone.
That's really insightful, that indirectness again. Okay, what if you're just not ready to buy yet? You need time to think, compare maybe. What phrase gives you that time and offers a polite way out?
Let me think about it. It's the classic buying time phrase. Gives you breathing room, offers a polite, non-committal exit, lets you say no for now without totally closing the door or feeling pressured right then and there.
Good escape hatch. And if you're genuinely just browsing, no real plan to buy right now, How do you walk away politely without any awkwardness?
I will come back for it later. This works well. It sort of removes the immediate expectation to buy. Whether you actually intend to come back or not isn't the point, really. It's just a polite way to disengage from the sales chat.
Okay, useful.
Yeah.
What if you like an item's style, but maybe not the color or the specific pattern they have out? How do you ask about other options?
Simple and direct. Do you have this in a different color? Or maybe in another size? Very common question. Shops often have more stock in the back or perhaps online than what's immediately visible.
Right. Always worth asking. And another absolutely vital one, especially for clothes or shoes, returns. Policies can be so different. How do you clarify the return situation up front to avoid headaches later?
Definitely ask, can I return this if it doesn't fit? Or maybe if I change my mind. It's just responsible shopping. Clarifies their policy right away. Super important for things where fit is key, or if you're buying a gift.
Makes sense. And finally, for shopping, you've decided against buying something. You just need a graceful, polite, no thanks.
What's the phrase?
I think I will leave it thanks. It's concise, it's polite, and it usually stops any further sales pitch. Clearly communicates your decision without needing a long explanation, just a clean exit.
Perfect. Okay, let's move from shops to, say, cafes and restaurants. Having the right phrases here can make the whole dining experience smoother, right? From getting seated to dealing with issues helps you sound like you know what you're doing.
Definitely. These phrases help you navigate the whole process, from walking in the door to paying the bill with, politeness and clarity.
So you arrive at a restaurant, maybe it's busy, maybe not, but you have a preference, say, you'd love a table by the window. How do you ask for that politely?
Could we get a table by the window? If possible. Adding that, if possible, is key. It makes it a polite request, not a demand. It acknowledges that maybe it's not feasible, but clearly states what you'd prefer, right? Acknowledges their constraints. Good tip. And when it's time to actually order, what's the standard, most natural way to state your food or drink choice?
Simply, I'll have the grilled salmon, please. Or I'll have a coffee, please. Just, I'll have. Followed by the item and please. It's direct, clear, universally understood by servers.
Easy enough. What if the server comes over, but you or your group needs a bit more time with the menu? How do you gently ask for that?
Would you mind giving us a few more minutes? The would you mind. Construction is classic politeness in English. It softens the request, makes it respectful, lets you take your time without feeling pressured.
Very useful.
Okay.
And after the meal, you've got leftovers. You want to take them home. How do you ask for a container?
Could we get this to go? That's the standard, concise phrase. Asked for a to-go box or doggy bag.
Perfect. Now, sometimes mistakes happen, right? Maybe the wrong dish arrives. How do you handle that calmly and respectfully?
Excuse me, I think this isn't what I ordered. Starting with excuse me gets their attention politely, and phrasing it as I think softens it. It suggests a possible misunderstanding rather than accusing them of a mistake. It prompts them to check.
Good way to phrase it. Avoids confrontation. Okay, thinking about travel now, especially places where tipping customs are different, like parts of Europe maybe. What's a smart question to ask to avoid, accidentally double tipping or not tipping when you should?
Definitely ask, service included. It's a really practical question. In some countries, a service charge is automatically added to the bill. Asking this clarifies whether you need to add a separate tip or if it's already covered. Saves confusion, maybe saves money.
Smart. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're dining and want to see the specific drink options, maybe the wine selection, how do you ask for that menu?
Just could I see the wine list, please?
Yeah.
Direct, polite.
Wow.
Indicates you want to look at their specific beverage offerings.
Straightforward. Now, this one is critical for anyone with dietary restrictions. How do you clearly and seriously state a food allergy and ask about ingredients?
It's vital to be direct here. I have a food allergy. Does this contain nuts? Or whichever allergen applies gluten, dairy, shellfish, etc. Starting with I have a food allergy signals the seriousness immediately. Restaurants take this very seriously for safety reasons.
Absolutely crucial. Okay. And after a really lovely meal, everything was great. It's a nice, appreciative way to thank the staff or compliment the food.
A simple and sincere, everything was fantastic, thank you, works wonders. It's warm, it acknowledges their effort and the quality, leaves a really positive final impression.
Next touch. And one more very practical one for restaurants, especially when out with friends or colleagues. How do you ask to pay separately?
Can we get separate checks? Extremely common and very practical. It avoids that awkward moment at the end trying to divide the bill. Most places are happy to do it.
Definitely helps avoid maths. Okay, great. Let's step into the professional world now. Workplace communication. Having the right phrases here seems crucial for sounding competent, respectful, and just generally clear.
Absolutely. These phrases help you navigate meetings, emails, daily interactions with a certain polish and clarity. They make you sound really capable.
So you've had a quick chat, maybe in the hallway,
Yeah.
and you want to suggest following up later without scheduling a formal meeting right away. What's that classic office phrase?
Let's touch base later this week. This is quintessential office speak. It implies a quick informal check-in, a brief follow-up, not a big formal meeting. It's efficient. Everyone knows what it means.
Right, very common. Okay, if something isn't quite clear, maybe in a meeting or an email, and you need clarification, how do you ask without sounding like you're challenging them or weren't listening?
Could you clarify what you meant by that? This shows you're engaged and genuinely want to understand fully. It's not confrontational at all. It's focused on ensuring accurate comprehension.
Good one. And confirming details, super important in business to avoid mix-ups. What's a common useful phrase for double-checking something like a meeting time?
Just to double check, we're meeting at 2, right? Incredibly useful. The just to double check framing implies you're simply verifying, not that you forgot or doubt them, prevents scheduling errors.
Yeah, saves hassle later.
Yeah.
Okay. If you absolutely cannot attend a meeting or an event, what's a polite, formal-ish way to decline that expresses regret?
I'm afraid I won't be able to make it. The I'm afraid part softens the no. It expresses regret while clearly stating you won't be there. Standard polite refusal.
Okay. And if you can make a meeting, just not the scheduled time, maybe something else came up, how do you respectfully ask to change the time?
Would it be possible to reschedule? This is very polite and non-demanding. It opens the door to finding a new time that works for everyone, acknowledges the other person's schedule too.
Good approach. And keeping people informed. Say you want to add someone to an ongoing email thread so they know what's happening.
Let me loop you in on this email. Direct, clear action. Tells the recipient you're including someone new to keep them informed.
Loop you in. Okay. In discussions, maybe brainstorming, someone makes a really good point you hadn't considered. What's a great way to acknowledge that? Show you're open-minded and maybe encourage them to say more.
Oh, that's a great point. I hadn't thought of it that way. This is fantastic for collaboration. It validates their contribution, shows humility, signals you're open to different perspectives, and often invites them to elaborate further. Builds rapport.
Definitely fosters a good atmosphere. What if a topic comes up in a meeting that's maybe important but off topic for now? You want to make sure it gets addressed later, but pause it for the moment. What's the phrase?
Let's table that for now. This is a common idiom. It means let's postpone discussion of this specific topic until a later time or maybe another meeting. Keeps the current discussion focused without dismissing the point entirely.
Table that. Okay. And if you want to show initiative, volunteer to take responsibility for a task. How do you express that confidently?
I'm happy to take the lead on this. This shows you're proactive, engaged, and reliable. Positions you as someone willing and ready to drive something forward.
Strong move. Okay, last one for the workplace. We've all been there. Someone asks a question, and you don't have the answer immediately. What's the professional way to handle that, rather than guessing or just saying, I don't know?
The indispensable. Let me get back to you on that. This is much better than guessing. It's not just buying time. It signals reliability and a commitment to accuracy. Shows you value giving the right information. Very common, very respected.
So it's about accuracy and trust, not just dodging the question. Makes sense. Okay, final section. Graceful social arrangements in planning. These phrases seem key for making plans smoothly, keeping things flexible, and just avoiding awkwardness in your social life.
Exactly. These are all about flexibility, politeness, making sure you can arrange things without stress or, miscommunication.
So, starting simple, you want to see if someone's free maybe this weekend. What's an easy, friendly way to open that conversation without putting pressure on them?
Just, are you free this weekend? It's direct, but also very open, gives them plenty of room to say yes, no, maybe, or explain their situation. Low pressure way to start making plans.
Okay. And for suggesting a specific but very casual, low commitment activity, like the go-to friendly invitation.
Do you want to grab a coffee sometime? It's incredibly common and versatile. Coffee itself is usually low pressure, low cost, and adding some time makes it non-urgent, very casual, very friendly.
The classic coffee invite. Okay, what if someone invites you somewhere, but you're not sure if you can commit right away? Maybe your schedule is genuinely up in the air, or you just need a moment. How do you politely pause?
Let me check my calendar. This is polite and perfectly acceptable. Buys you time to confirm your availability, prevents you from accidentally double booking yourself. Doesn't sound dismissive.
Right, buys you thinking time. What if you actually like the idea of the plan, but you really can't make it at the suggested time or date? You want to decline this instance, but signal you're keen for another time.
I might have to take a rain check. This is a lovely, gentle way to decline. The phrase, take a rain check, specifically implies you'd like to do it, just not now, and suggests rescheduling in the future. Shows interest.
Take a rain check, I like that. Okay. And for those plans that are deliberately loose, where you want to decide later, depending on, I don't know, the weather or how you feel.
Let's play it by ear. A wonderfully flexible phrase means you'll decide the specifics later, based on how things unfold. Perfect for casual, adaptable plans where you don't need everything locked down in advance.
Very handy. And the simple, enthusiastic yes to a plan.
Sounds good to me. Direct, positive, clearly shows you're happy with the suggestion, no ambiguity.
Easy. Now, sometimes you just can't. You need to cancel or decline. Maybe you're feeling tired or overwhelmed. What's an honest but respectful way to bow out? Maybe softer than just saying, I'm tired.
I'm not really feeling up to it today. This conveys a genuine need for rest or quiet time without needing to overshare details. It often feels a bit softer than, I'm tired. Implies more about general well-being, perhaps. Friends usually understand and respect it.
Yeah, it feels honest. Okay, if something unexpected pops up and you need to adjust plans slightly, not cancel, but maybe start a bit later, what's a polite, non-demanding way to ask for that shift?
Could we push it back a bit?
Yeah.
This is polite and flexible. It suggests a slight delay or adjustment rather than a full cancellation or major reschedule, often easily accommodated.
Push it back, okay. And finally, for those plans that are tentative, like you're putting something in the diary, but it's not 100% confirmed yet.
Let's pencil it in. This phrase implies a provisional booking. It acknowledges the plan is there, but it's maybe subject to change or needs final confirmation later. Sets an expectation of flexibility. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. This deep dive really does show how understanding these specific phrases and crucially the why behind them, the nuances, it just empowers you, doesn't it? Helps you sound more polite, more confident, and just more genuinely connected when you're speaking English.
It's actually remarkable, isn't it? How much power one carefully chosen phrase can hold. It can really transform everyday interactions. So, as you, our listener, go about your day, here's maybe a little thought to consider. How might choosing just one or two of these new phrases and consciously trying them out in your next conversation, how might that impact your confidence? Or even how others perceive your fluency? Don't just, learn the list. Try to experience those subtle but really significant shifts that come from making conscious word choices in your real-world English conversations.